The stage glows in golden light as a young boy steps forward, his small hands clutching a weathered guitar that looks older than him. The murmurs in the audience echo like a wave, he's too nervous, too young. Cameras zoom in on his trembling fingers. He takes a deep breath, eyes glancing at the empty front row where someone was supposed to be. The judges exchange doubtful looks. Then the microphone catches his soft voice, fragile, sincere, trembling. "This song was my father's favorite," he says, pausing as if holding back tears. "He taught me before he left." The first chords of Hotel California break the silence. His fingers dance, awkward yet full of heart. Each note feels like it carries a lifetime of memories, cracked laughter, candlelit lessons, the smell of rain on old streets. The audience stills. The boy's voice rises, unexpectedly strong, shaking the walls with something more powerful than pitch, truth. In the back corner, a janitor stops sweeping. His wrinkled hands freeze midair as his eyes glisten. It's the same melody he once sang on this stage long ago, before life buried his dreams. That janitor is the boy's father, Daniel, unseen and trembling. When the final note fades, silence fills the hall. The boy bows his head, thinking he failed. Then, suddenly, a deafening sound. The golden buzzer. Gold confetti bursts from the ceiling, raining over him like sunlight. The judges rise, clapping with tears in their eyes. The boy falls to his knees, crying, joy, disbelief, and pain mixing together. Somewhere in the shadows, Daniel smiles through tears, whispering to himself, "You did it, my son. You sang our dream into the light." The next morning, the boy's face is everywhere, newspapers, TV screens, and social media feeds glowing with his photo under bold headlines, "The Street Boy with the Golden Voice." But behind that spotlighted miracle lives a truth no one knows. His name is Ethan. He wakes up on a thin mattress in a small shelter, sunlight slipping through a cracked window. Around him, children whisper about his performance, calling him the boy who made the judges cry. He smiles faintly, but deep inside, there's a hole that applause can't fill. Ethan's father, Daniel, was once a singer too, a man with a voice that could light up rooms and dreams that could have filled arenas. But one bad turn of fate, a failed concert, lost savings, and a growing family he couldn't provide for, crushed his spirit. He walked away, telling himself that leaving would spare his son from poverty and shame. All he left behind was an old guitar and a note that read, "Sing when the world goes quiet." Now, that same man mops the stage floor of the theater where his son just won the golden buzzer. Daniel watches from the shadows as workers replay the performance on their phones, smiling proudly as if it were their own child. His eyes glisten, pride and pain colliding. He whispers to himself, "You found the voice I lost, son." Ethan doesn't know that the janitor who nodded at him backstage, offering a small smile before his audition, was his father, older, broken, and hidden beneath years of regret. As Ethan tunes his guitar again that night, somewhere nearby Daniel hums along quietly, both father and son connected by the same song, the same love, and the same silence. Days pass, and Ethan's performance becomes a phenomenon. The video floods timelines across the world, replayed millions of times. People write comments like, "He sings with the pain of 1,000 souls," and "That voice feels like home." Ethan scrolls through the messages in disbelief, unsure how to handle a kind of love he's never known before. He spends his evenings alone on the same park bench, clutching his guitar, whispering, "I hope you're proud of me, Dad." Across town, in a dim janitor's room behind the theater, Daniel listens to his son's performance again and again on a small, cracked phone. Each note pierces him, not with sadness, but with memory. He sees flashes of the past, Ethan's small hand strumming his first chords, his wife laughing softly in the background, the glow of candles on the night she told him, "Music will keep you together." But he didn't believe it then. When poverty swallowed his pride, he chose silence over struggle. And now, years later, his silence sings louder than any song. One late evening, Ethan returns to the empty stage for rehearsal. He sees the janitor sitting on the steps, gently tuning an old guitar, scarred, but cared for. "That's beautiful," Ethan says, walking closer. "Where did you get it?" Daniel freezes, the color draining from his face. His hands shake. "Someone left it here, a long time ago," he replies softly. Ethan kneels down, tracing the faded letters carved on the wood, D&E. His breath catches. "It was my dad's," he whispers, voice breaking. Daniel's eyes glimmer, but he forces a smile. "Then your father must have loved you very much." Ethan nods slowly, tears in his eyes. "I think he still does," he says, not realizing he's looking right into his father's face. As Jessica's voice poured into the hall, something unexplainable shifted. The stage, once intimidating, became a sanctuary. Judges who moments ago looked cold now leaned forward, pens forgotten. The audience, restless at first, grew still, as though every soul had been caught in a net of pure sound. Her voice wasn't flawless, it was scarred, cracked in places, yet it carried a truth that perfection could never reach. It carried hunger. It carried loss. It carried love. Each lyric soared higher, weaving threads of her father's sacrifice into every note. She remembered his tired smile, his calloused hands guiding her through dreams too heavy for a child to carry alone. And now, it felt as though he was there, standing at the very back, in his old work uniform, nodding with pride. On the final chorus, Jessica stepped away from the microphone. No safety net, no filter, only her raw voice filling the cavernous space. The sound trembled, human and unguarded, but it was real. When the last note broke free, silence followed. Then, an eruption. The crowd rose, clapping, crying, shouting her name. But Jessica bowed her head, whispering through tears, "This was always yours, Dad." A judge, breaking formality, stood first to applaud. One by one, others followed, until the entire hall was on its feet, celebrating not just a performance, but a legacy reborn in song. The show was over, but Jessica's heart still raced as she stepped outside into the cool night air. Cameras flashed, reporters called her name, but none of it mattered. She turned a corner and stopped. There, under the glow of a dim street lamp, a janitor was sweeping the floor. His uniform was damp with sweat, his shoulders heavy with the same exhaustion she had once seen in her father. Beside him, a little girl sat cross-legged, humming softly to herself, her voice innocent yet strikingly pure. Jessica froze. It was like looking into her own past. The girl's eyes widened when she recognized her, but before words could form, Jessica knelt down. "You sing beautifully," Jessica whispered. The girl blushed, glancing at her father. He smiled apologetically. "She sings when I work late. But, lessons are out of reach." Jessica's throat tightened. Without thinking, she unclipped the finalist medal hanging around her neck, the symbol of everything she had just won, and gently placed it around the child's. "This belongs to you now. Promise me you'll never stop singing." The janitor's eyes brimmed with tears. Reporters rushed forward, asking why she gave away her medal. Jessica simply answered, "Winning isn't keeping. Winning is passing the light forward." That moment went viral, not because of her victory, but because of her choice. And somewhere, unseen yet felt, a father smiled, knowing his daughter had turned sacrifice into legacy, and legacy into love.